Good evening, Butterfield Trail Village. It's so nice to see you tonight. I'm Ricky Stamps, Director of Programs and Events. This is a great audience. On the back of your program, you will see the history of BTV Readers Theater. And there's so much information, we could never get it into a pamphlet, but I want to let you know Butterfield has enjoyed hundreds of plays. And our director, Martha Westberg, has given us so many wonderful plays that she has written. And she did one during the pandemic you enjoyed on your in-house TV called Hospital Daze. Do you remember that? And the pandemic caused us to have to wait a little longer. Nathan, can you turn me up just a little bit? That's not very loud. Thank you so much. We haven't been able to have another play. But the first Hospital Daze that Martha wrote inspired Assistant Director of Programs and Events, Michael Burks. And he had the juices flowing and the thoughts coming of what was going to happen after Fergie left the hospital. But what I would like to do at this point, while I would also want to thank Michael for doing all he's done for this play, is give the microphone to Martha, who has a special announcement.
I want to tell you I have written a sequel to this play. This evening you're going to hear about Fergie's hospital bills, which are massive. But if you've been to the hospital, you know that there's always something more, like lab tests and doctor bills, and they don't work for free. And so this play I've written next to follow will be something along that line. And you know, Fergie might even have to go back to work.
Thank you, Martha. We can't even wait for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Hospital Daze, The Aftershock.
Well, I'm sure that you can remember in the recent months that Fergie was hospitalized for a simple snake bite. And the night in the hospital brought him some exciting interactions with family members butting their noses into his business. You see, they had heard through the infamous BTV grapevine that Fergie had inherited a large amount of money, and they had their hands stretched out wanting a piece of the big pie. Well, Fergie did not pay much attention to all the papers he signed when he was admitted to the hospital. After all, who has time to read all that? And the check-in desk personnel that provided a one-sentence explanation of each paper that you're signing to speed it up. But one paper in particular is the form telling you of your responsibility for any charges that are not covered by insurance. Well, this is where the story begins. We all know the sinking feeling in our stomachs when we start to open the bills from the neighborhood hospital. Often we lose our breath or think our eyesight's failing when we see the number of zeros attached to the bottom line showing the amount we owe. Let's look at this scenario and see how this plays out.
Patricia, I have a complaint about Michael Burks.
Michael?
Yeah. He's not as nice as he portrays himself to be. That man is the devil.
Oh, come on.
He is. He started yelling at me because I wouldn't help with the transportation issue because his people were busy doing other things. Well, I wasn't wanting to get out of the air conditioning, but
No doubt.
yeah, so he yelled at me so much I started crying. That he doesn't realize how sensitive I really am.
Yeah.
But anyways, I stewed on it for a little bit, and I decided, well, I'm gonna go and tell Ricky Stamps. Well, don't even get me going on that enchantress because she just bats her eyes at me, and she can get me to do whatever she wants. I got her a panini one time, and I washed her car for her, and it's like, So she said that, you know, I was probably making this stuff up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, whatever, woman. And I'm just like, I'm done. So I walk down to her office and I hear this, hey, punk. And I turn around. There's Michael Burke standing up here on the stage. And all of a sudden, lights out. I don't know what happened. I woke up the next day laying on the floor right over there with a rutabaga right there
Oh, Aaron, I don't
with
believe
a
that.
big knot on my forehead.
Really?
Really? You think I'm fine?
Come in.
Miss Patricia, can I bother you a few minutes? This is really important.
Don't bother at all, Mr. Fergie. Aaron was just leaving.
No rutabagas for either of you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You remember a couple of months ago when I was hospitalized for a simple snake bite?
I sure do. Are you having problems with that injury still?
No, nothing like that. You see, I received the bill today, and I think something is wrong.
What do you mean?
Well, you see, the total amount of the bill on the blue line says that the hospital stay cost me $128,499. And the amount I owe is $99,499. It's there on the red line.
Wow. All right. Well, you know, staying in the hospital these days is pretty costly. Did you have any unnecessary expenses while you were there?
Well, I don't know. They did some routine lab work. But by the way, I enjoyed the beautiful therapy dog that came to visit me twice a day while I was there.
I bet you did enjoy that. Listen, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me keep this bill. I'll make some phone calls, check into it, and see what I can find out. May I call you later with my findings?
Yes, of course. I'll be waiting for your call.
Absolutely.
I knew I could count on you to help me solve this problem.
Glad to help.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yes, hello, is this the hospital? Yes, this is Patricia Portner at Butterfield Trail Village. I'm calling on behalf of one of our residents who's
Well, you know, Patricia is so kind to all the residents at BTV. They can bring her any issue, and she's willing and able to tackle just about anything. After all, she's the tallest of them all and can outrun anyone trying to get away. Why, it's even reported that she can outrun Quentin to the town hall meeting. Meanwhile, in the bistro, we have the residents of Jim, Bob, Gail, and Jean discuss the latest news in the grapevine of BTV gossip.
Well, good morning, y'all. Everybody doing okay?
Well, I had a rough night sleeping, but that's not uncommon. But I feel pretty good this morning.
I slept like a log, and I still feel like I didn't even close my eyes.
I slept like a baby. All I have to do is put my head on the pillow, and I don't wake up till the following day. You know what they say? A good laugh and a good night's sleep are the two best cures for anything.
Yeah. You know, going to sleep is one thing I do not have any problem with. I can fall asleep anytime, any place. One time I fell asleep while I was waiting for the elevator to come down from the 3rd floor. Plus, I'm no stranger to sleeping at the wheel.
Did you say sleeping at the wheel, Jim? Surely not. That's very dangerous. Believe me. I bet you're scaring poor Ann half to death.
Well, that would scare me so bad, I couldn't even get in the car with you.
Me too. I wouldn't ride with you if my life depended on it.
Settle down, settle down. I don't fall asleep while I'm driving. But when I have to stop at a stoplight, I'll lean my head over against the headrest and take a small, short power nap. It is so relaxing until somebody gets all bent out of shape and starts blaring their horn. Sure.
So you're the culprit. You know, I've been on the BTV bus with Sandy, and one time we were going down the street here, you know, past the post office, and we waited through 3 lights, and they told me somebody fell asleep at the wheel.
I don't care.
You should. Well, that's dangerous.
Oh, the corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it runs all up to the sky. Well, good morning, this beautiful, in the neighborhood. Oh, honey, you're just in the bistro. This isn't the neighborhood. Oh, bistro, neighborhood, whatever you call it. I think it's a matter of perspective. My perspective is to think it's a beautiful neighborhood filled with lovely wildflowers that grow all around, most beautiful, and smell. Oh, they smell so good.
Be careful now, Dorothy. Don't let Jay Green hear you talking like that. He'll be in Patricia's office to have you moved into health care so fast it'll make your head swim.
Come on now, cut out this nonsense. Before somebody walking by hears about this and takes it to the grapevine.
Okay, you're right. Say, have you guys all heard about the bill that Fergie ran up during his hospital stay?
I heard that he even had to sell off his new Tesla to pay the expenses.
I have heard that it is astronomical and downright outrageous what he was charged. They must be needing to raise funds for a wing for the hospital and charging Fergie's checkbook. I heard it was well over $100,000. Is that right?
Well, that's pretty doggone close. He told me that his bill was nearly $130,000, and he has to pay 70% of that amount. And the worst thing is, it's due immediately.
Gail, you know, I think that ends all hopes that we'll ever receive any of that inheritance Fergie received.
Yes, I guess that's true.
Oh, I've lost hope for anything else, so terrible.
I have an idea. Why don't we do some sort of a sale for Fergie to help him to pay for the hospital bill? We could bake some cookies, or ask Judy Doyle to put together her treasure hunt sale.
Treasure hunt sales? Dorothy, I think those sales that Judy puts together are called white elephant sales.
Oh. I know that. I have seen those signs advertising white elephant sales every time. And I never have seen a white elephant even in the room, let alone one on sale. I'm not times, you know.
Come to think of it, Dorothy, I've never seen a white elephant for sale either.
Well, you know, there is an actual definition for a white elephant sale. Yes, a white elephant sale is a collection of used items being sold, like a yard sale or a garage sale, often as a fundraiser for a good cause.
Yes.
You know, everybody out here loves cookies, and I'll bet they'd pay top dollar if the cause was a good one.
Oh, yeah. I think a cookie sale's a great idea, and I know the perfect place to hold it.
Well, I think that's a great idea too, because I love cookies.
Oh, yeah. And we'll sell them right here at the end of this play tonight.
No way, Jose. You can count me out on this one. I am retired. When I moved to Butterfield Trail, I hung up my apron, and I never intended to put that dreadful thing on again. Not me. No way.
You ladies better hurry. You don't have much time to make 300 cookies if you plan to have them ready at the end of this play.
Never fear, Jim. Never fear.
Okay.
I know just who to talk about making cookies appear out of the thin air. Bob and Gail, come with me. Let's go see Ricky.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. She can do anything in a flash.
Good idea. Let's go.
Gail, Dorothy, and Bob make their way to see Ricky in her office, and as always, Ricky's eager to create a lasting memory with the stroke of her magic wand. Ricky's been doing celebrations and fundraising for many years and knows everything about making each detail come together. Let's look at Ricky in her daily routine and see what happens when the ladies present this idea.
Give me just 1 second, okay? Yes. Yes, this is Ricky Stamps with Butterfield Trail Village, and this is Viking Cruises. Well, hello. I am ready to book a trip. Residents are tired of staying at home, and we would like to go somewhere. Can you please put together a wonderful contract for us to go to Portugal? We want to sail the Douro River. Yes. All right, well, I look forward to getting that information from you. Thank you so much, and happy travels. Hi, thank you. I'm sorry I had the call. How are you doing today?
Good.
What in the world are you here for? Can I help with something today?
Ricky, you may not know the news, but remember when Fergie was in the hospital with a snake bite?
Yes, is he okay?
Well, sort of. His leg is fine, but he just received the hospital bill.
Well, usually when you're in the hospital, you get a hospital bill. Not too unordinary.
But this one was over $100,000.
No, the bill from the hospital is entirely normal. We all get those things.
Wow.
You see, Ricky, it's the amount of the bill that Fergie owes. That's the problem. It is out of this world, and we want to see what can be done to help him pay for it.
That is so sweet and precious. I love the fact that you want to help Fergie. He's a friend, and I would love to help. But guys, I don't have a line item in my budget to help with hospital bills. I'm sorry.
No. We don't mean that. No. We are not asking to help that way.
No, let me explain. Dorothy's come up with the idea of having a cookie sale right after the play as a fundraiser for Fergie.
Okay.
Yes, and Ricky, rumor has it that you can make cookies right out of thin air.
Yeah, just like the magician at the carnival. You can pull a rabbit out of the hat. It's always so much fun to watch the expression of the rabbit when they make the when they start clapping. Oh, the room just fills with people. Oh.
Oh, my goodness, Dorothy. Your enthusiasm overwhelms me. It just makes me want to help in any way I can. So, maybe that rumor is true. I might be able to pull some cookies out of my program hat.
Oh, that's what we have heard. So we're asking if you can wave your magic wand and make cookies available right after the play tonight.
After the play tonight.
Bet.
Oh
Not
my
today.
goodness, I don't know if my magic is that charged
Oh,
yet.
but Ricky, that would mean so much to Fergie.
Yes, and Ricky, I'm sure that the residents here would pay top dollar for each cookie after they know what the proceeds are going for.
Makes sense.
Please say you, please say you could help us. You're our only hope. And in making this a success, we don't have much time. The final curtain is coming down soon, and we need about 300 cookies on the table in the lobby.
300 cookies?
Oh, that,
Yes,
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of cookies.
that is a lot to ask, but can you help us,
Well,
please?
of course. Let me see what I can pull together. What kind of cookies would you like?
oh, I like those chocolate chip cookies. You take a bite and it gets all gooey all over you. Oh, they're wonderful.
And I like the macadamia nut cookies.
Those are good.
Big white chunks and nuts are so tasty and good for you too.
Oh, I didn't know they were good for you.
Oh yeah.
I like the peanut butter cookies, and Fergie loves those too.
Yeah.
Can we have some of those?
Absolutely. Those sound absolutely delicious. Now, listen up. We also have to have plates, napkins, and punch.
Well, I think we should just go all out. We should go all out for this. After all, it's a good cause, and everyone loves Fergie.
That is so true, Dorothy. Okay, let's make this cookie sale big. It's going to be like a party. We'll even spike the punch and sell
All right.
it by the glass.
Before then,
Well, so it goes with Ricky and the magical program department. She starts the wheels turning and creating a cookie extravaganza right after today's play. And we're all eager and excited to see what she comes up with, knowing that very little time we have before the play is over. But for now, Patricia is trying to get to the bottom of the hospital bill for Fergie. She's made several calls to the hospital trying to find out all the information about Fergie's bill. But as we all know, you're placed on hold for an extended period when you call a big business. Once someone comes to the phone, you're transferred to another person. You generally don't know the answer, they don't know the answer either. It's much like a merry-go-round that never ends. But at last, Patricia has found some fascinating information, and she has a few questions for Fergie. Let's eavesdrop on the conversation. Patricia's calling Mr. Fergie now.
Hello.
Mr. Fergie.
Yes, this is he. Now, before you get started, I tell you I'm not interested in buying anything. You can stop right now with your sales pitch. I am not interested.
Mr. Fergie, this is Patricia.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. I've had numerous calls today trying to sell me things. I thought it was another one calling me. How are you today?
Well, I'm fine, thank you for asking, but listen, I'm calling you about your hospital bill.
Yes. Did you find out anything? I sure hope you did, because that is a lot of money for me to pay out. You know, I recently received an excellent inheritance from an estate that was settled a year ago, and I would just hate to have to spend all that money paying this huge hospital bill.
Well, yes, I did find out some information, but I need to ask a couple of questions. So, do you remember calling the nurses into your room about every 20 minutes to fluff your pillow?
Well, yes. But you'd think that with the price they charge for a hospital bed, it would include fluffy pillows.
Well, okay. Now, do you recall anyone other than the nurses coming in to do things for you or to explain things?
Well, now, let me see. Yes. Now, think about it. There was this one charge nurse. I think her name was Nurse Sandy. And then there was a gentleman that came in to talk to me, too. I believe his name was Mr. Green. He was the hospital administrator.
Okay, now think very hard. Did they explain how the charges occur?
Let me think for a minute. I seem to remember some of the things they said. I don't know.
Fergie's on the phone with Patricia. He's thinking back to the second night in the hospital until she asked, "We have all heard of time travel and how someone can travel back in time to remember things that happened previously. Join me now as we travel back in time to the second night in the hospital to see how it transpired. Here we are in Fergie's hospital room. Let's take a look at what's happening at this time."
Come in. Oh, it's just you.
Well, aren't you a bundle of joy? Just remember, you need to calm that attitude down because I can unplug you. All right? But anyway, how are you feeling now?
You know, Doc, I'm just a little tired, that's all. I've just had so many visitors today. I can't believe it.
I can't believe that either. But if you have many people who care about you, which that's kind of hard to believe, but you should be thankful. Many patients never get any visitors.
I tell you, I would be a little more thankful if they were not all after the same thing.
After the same thing? Mr. Fergie, you know this is a safe place here for all circumstances, so I'm going to have to ask you a few questions.
Well, okay, that's all right.
Okay. Are you being threatened at home or where you live?
Well, I don't think so.
That's hard to believe, but are you afraid for your life?
Well, not really.
You should be. You stated that everybody is after the same thing. Are you being harassed or abused?
Yes, that's it. I am being harassed, but not exactly abused.
Can you explain that to me? We have excellent services here for referral if there is abuse and harassment.
Dr. Aaron, I have just received notice that I'm getting an inheritance, and my family members all want a piece of it. That is the only reason they come to see me.
Oh, well, good for you on getting an inheritance. So is that what the harassment is about? Money?
Yes. And let me tell you, I do not intend to share 1 red cent with those money vultures.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm afraid there isn't anything I can really do to help in this situation. But in my experience, I can tell you money will make people do some pretty crazy things. You wouldn't believe the fights over money, wills, powers of attorney that has taken place in here. And people are nuts.
Yeah, I agree, Doc. People are crazy when they think they might benefit from someone else's money.
That is very true. But I've got one thing I need to ask you, though. Can you spot me a few $100s? Because I'd like to take out Grace Donahoe.
I tell you, a few $100 is that's not going to be enough for Grace.
Well,
You need more than that, and
all
I
right,
can't go
then
any more than that.
Can you give me what she's worth?
No, no, I can't tell you that.
I've kind of figured that.
No.
But anyways, I got to go. I got to see some other patients. You rest well, and I will talk to you in the morning.
Okay, let me, come on. I tell you what, I swear to my ever-living day, I have pushed this nurse buzzer 500 times since I've been in this hospital. I can never seem to get anybody to respond when I need them. I tell you, it just irks the fire out of me.
Okay, Mr. Fergie. What now?
Well, I don't know.
You're going to have to stop calling me every 20 minutes. You're even a little early right now.
I like to call you.
There's a lot of patients that I take care of that are more critically ill than your little fabricated illness that you dreamed up. Well, what is your complaint now that I'm here? Is the room too cold? Is it too hot? Oh, is that pillow flat again? We just fluffed that thing till we've worn it out. Well, speak up. Does the cat have your tongue? What is it?
Well, it's about time you showed up. I tell you, I've been pressing this nurse call thing for an hour now. It's just nothing.
Yes, I know you have been pressing that button. The entire nursing staff knows how many times you have pressed that button. And I have had enough of this. I guess I will just have to report you to the charge nurse. And I'm just going to tell her for disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct? Are you kidding me? You are crazy. You can't do that.
Well, now you'd just be surprised at what I can do. But you are driving me crazy. And it's patients like you who drive me crazy. With that little leg all bandaged up there with the little snake bite, the little garter snake bite. But I could unplug every monitor in this room. And the first one I would unplug would be the nurse's call button. I've done it many times for other patients. So don't press your luck tonight.
You know what? I have had enough of you and your Spitfire attitude. You get your charge nurse in here ASAP.
Do you want me to get the charge nurse in here? It will be my pleasure. If you think I'm tough, I think you better just wait and see.
I cannot believe I'm paying for this kind of treatment, of all the low-down rotten things to say to a sick person. They're just abusing me, I tell you.
Mr. Fergie, my name is Sandy, and I am the charge nurse here, and I'm in charge of this entire floor.
Oh.
And I understand from my nurses that you are the most difficult patient we have had. So let's get a few things straight. You're going on to your second night here in the hospital, and we are not going to do it the same way tonight as we did last night. So, number one, you are entitled to how many times we're going to fluff your pillows for you.
Oh, okay, good.
And that's only 3 times.
Oh.
And
and you may have as many drinks as you like, but there are fees. You can ask kindly for medication. By the way, demands are placed on the back burner, but kindness makes things happen faster around here. Do you have any questions so far?
Yes. Now that you ask, I have 2 questions to ask.
Well, what are they?
Well, number 1, you said there are fees for drinks. Can you explain that? And then, secondly, why did it take 2 hours last night to get 2 Tylenol pills?
Well, of course, there are fees for everything. Do you think we run this hospital as a welfare camp for the sick? Not hardly. So this is the premier place of charges. Now let me explain and follow closely because I'm not repeating myself. Now, regarding your pain pills last night, you know the 2 pain pills you requested last night for your complaint of a headache.
Yes, it's
Well,
terrible.
the fee for those are $100 a pill.
$100 a pill? Are you crazy? I can buy a whole bottle of pills at Walgreens for $10.
Well, honey, you ain't at Walgreens. Let me continue. So here's why it took so long to get your medication to you last night and all the fees associated with it. Now, you called the nurse into your room using your buzzer. And by the way, this room records each time you buzz a nurse, and the fee for that is $5 per buzz. Did I get something on you? So, and then the nurse has to come in and see you and ask you what you wanted. Now, that fee was $25 just for her visit.
That's terrible.
Then the nurse goes to the nursing station. She gets on the phone and she calls the doctor, and the doctor on call. And that call was $20. Now, sometimes the doctor on call is too busy, and he cannot take the call. So we have to leave a message. No, my feet are so tired. Here, scooch on over. Scooch. Scooch on over. Scooch on over there. Yeah. You just been, don't get fresh with me. There's a fee for that.
Fee for everything.
Fee for everything. Where was I? In the meantime, while we're waiting for our rounds into other patients' rooms, you know, we used to have really nice patients around here, and they were understanding, and they were nice. But, you know, I don't even know why we even call y'all patients. None of you are patient about anything. You just think that we should be at your every beck and call, every one of you.
But I am one patient who has been impatiently waiting for an extended period of time.
Oh, well, nobody cares about that. Anyway, as I was saying, once the nurse has finished her rounds, then we can finally sit down for our break. And after our break, and not a minute before, we notice that voicemail light is blinking faster than a railroad crossing signal on steroids. So that was the doctor on call, and it was about you, and he wanted to know what your pain level was. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, the nurse had to come back in, had to ask you what your pain level was, and you told her it was an 8.
Yeah.
Now, when she came
I
back
remember
in,
that.
when she came back in, that was a second visit, $35.
Oh my!
What do you need, Fergie?
I did not call you, Nurse Hateful. Go away, go away. You're no good anyway.
Well, I just wanted our charge nurse to see how disrespectful you have been. I will go now.
Oh, so long.
Oh, well, I see how you treat my nursing staff around here. There's a fee for that. And I'll figure it out.
Another fee.
Now, the nurse has to call. The nurse called back with your pain level rating, and he prescribed 2 Tylenol pills. The fee for the prescription was $75 a pill.
Oh, wow.
So the nurse then calls the pharmacist down in the basement to order your meds. That was $50. Now, this fee does not include delivery. Delivery is based on the floor you're on.
Delivery?
Mr.
Delivery?
Fergie, you have got to quit interrupting me. Now, concerning this delivery, This is good news for you, honey,
Oh,
because
okay.
you are on the second floor.
Oh.
Delivery charge per floor on the medication elevator is $100.
Oh.
So the delay last night was due to the high demand for the medication elevator.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Is there a fee for the elevator too? Is it $25?
Oh, Mr. Fergie, you do have a sense of humor. $25 wouldn't even light up the button on the elevator door. Now, the fee for the elevator is $75 for the initial use, plus $100 per floor. Now, let me get back to the time delay issues we were asking about. Last night there was high demand on the medication elevator. Someone on the 10th floor needed some Gas-Lax or X-Lax or Gas-8, whatever, something down there.
Yeah.
And someone on the 7th floor needed a shot, etc. You get my point, right?
Okay. I tell you, I see. It just takes time to get everything done. So this is why they call you the charge nurse, because you can rattle off all the charges so fast.
Well, you are a quick learner. I earned this title and this hat because I am the best at charges.
Well, with your rampage of charges, I'd rather not be in this classroom, to be honest about it. But since you are here, can you help me with something?
Oh, I suppose I can. What is it?
I think I would like a Coke.
That's a good choice. Now, we have options to choose from. You can have a Diet Coke, a caffeine Coke,
No.
cherry.
I don't need options. I just want a good old-fashioned Coca-Cola.
Okay, $50.
$50? $50? Did you just say $50 for a Coke?
Why, yes. Now, that's at room temperature. Do you want to upgrade to refrigerated?
Is that extra?
Yes, that would be $75. Would you like a cup and a straw?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Well, the fee for the cup is $15 and the straw is $5. Do you want ice?
Yes, ice. Crushed ice. That is my favorite. Just like at Butterfield Trail Village.
Crushed ice it is. Fee, $10.
You are about to fee me to death. I want to speak to whoever is in charge of this hospital.
You mean Mr. Green, the hospital administrator?
If he is in charge, please get him here as quick as you can.
Are you sure you want to go that route?
Yes. This fee business is highway robbery, or more like bed robbery.
All right, I'll let him know, and I'll come back with your drink in a little while.
Oh, so long. I gotta make a call. Jim, this is Fergie. You have got to come break me out of this hospital. You are not going to believe how the hospital is robbing me blind.
Say what? You're blind? And you were just robbed? Holy cow!
Come in.
Wait a second. I'll be right there. Mr. Fergie, here is your drink, just as you ordered it.
Okay. Listen, Jim, I gotta go right now. I'll call you back in a little while. Thank you. Oh, for crying out loud. I did not buzz again. Who is it?
Mr. Fergie, my name is Jay Green, and I'm the hospital administrator. Hi, Sandy.
Hi.
I hear you wanted to see me.
Yes. Why, Charge Nurse Sandy here has just explained how fees are charged here at your hospital, and I am outraged. This is absolutely unethical. It's downright criminal, not to mention robbery.
Well, Mr. Fergie, I'm so sorry you feel that way. Now, you look like a smart man to me, so I'm going to try to help explain it to you.
Scoot. There's a fee for that.
Oh, thank you. I've taken care of my brain throughout my life. by constantly learning.
Not what I hear. Exactly. So you remember many years ago, a company on the verge of bankruptcy came up with a new marketing plan to offer hotel rooms at $6 a night. And that company had a real catchy slogan, "We'll leave the light on for you." Do you remember that one?
Yeah, well, I sure do. You know, you couldn't watch anything on TV without seeing one of those ads. It was Motel 6. I remember them plain as day.
Well, Mr. Fergie, we are a few bars higher than the National Motel 6 chain, and it takes a lot of electricity to keep everything up and running without interruption of service.
Let me tell you, I'd hate to see the cost of the electric bill around here.
Well, it's not nearly as bad as the roofing bill, but it is quite high. Trust me, it gives my heart palpitations each time I see the bill. But back to explaining about your charges. You know, you and everyone else in town expect us to keep the lights on for you. Now, I know it seems there are fees for everything, but it's necessary to ensure we provide the utmost care while you're here.
Okay. I guess I overreacted a bit.
Well, that's what I hear, but no problem at all. I'm happy to help anytime. Now, I must go. I have a couple of other patients to see about similar issues. You have a good day, and you holler if you need anything.
Oh, I will. I'm sure of it. Thank you again.
Well, now that we have that all straightened out, do you have anything else that you need or any more questions?
No, I don't think so. But I am curious, and I am almost afraid to ask. What is the fee for Mr. Green coming here to my room?
I'm so glad you asked. His fee is for $1,000 for a 15-minute visit. And he exceeded that 15-minute visit, so we rounded it up to the next half hour. That's $2,000 for his visit today.
I tell you, I think I need a nap. You can leave. I got no more questions.
All right. Well, sure. Now, you rest well. Would you like for me to turn off the lights and close the door for you?
Well, yes, that would be very nice of you.
Well, don't confuse me or any of my other staff as being nice. Turning off the lights is $175, and closing the door is $50.
Oh, gosh. Well, so long. Bye-bye.
Well, while Dr. Aaron and Nurse Sherry and the charge Nurse Sandy and the hospital administrator, Mr. Green, visited Fergie, Jim and Ann have been all anxiously waiting in the second floor waiting room. They're joined by Fergie's brother, Alan, who's just flown into town from South Dakota to check on his big brother. They've been there for quite some time and have become restless and worried. They're even more concerned about Fergie's inheritance and will because they see his declining health condition. As they wait, they began talking among themselves about why it was taking so long for the nurse to come and get them for their time with Fergie tonight. They've developed many ideas and are discussing them now. We'll join them in the waiting room.
What in the world is taking so long? My private jet got me down here in 45 minutes. We've been waiting here for over 2 hours to see Fergie. That sign over there says the visiting hours are from 6 to 8, and it's already 8:30.
Uncle Alan, I don't know about you, but it gives me an uneasy feeling in my stomach that something is wrong. I mean, like, something is seriously wrong, and they're not telling us.
You know, his health has rapidly declined ever since he came here.
Yes, he's had several setbacks. He has complained about the staff and the care he's getting in this hospital. He told me this morning they're going to keep him another night for observation. I realized then that it was time for me to come and see him for myself.
You know what observation means, don't you? It means they really don't know what is wrong, but are preparing for the worst. Oh dear, I just know something is dreadfully wrong.
Well, I didn't want to say anything that would alarm everybody. But there may be very well something terribly wrong.
Jim, do you know something that we don't about Fergie's condition? And just exactly why haven't you said something before now?
You know, in Jim's defense, they may be under HIPAA regulations. If Fergie told them not to tell us anything, they're required by law not to say anything.
You think he'd do that? After all, we're the only family he's got. And we need him, if for nothing else, to get our hands on that will and all of his money.
I wonder where he keeps that will.
Wait just a minute. His inheritance and the will, what is this all about?
Well, you haven't heard the news, Alan. Fergie has inherited a large sum of money from an estate that was settled well over a year ago.
I wonder who in the world would have done that. I know nothing about the inheritance. I certainly haven't been not included on any payout.
Oh dear, Jim. We may have just started another family feud.
Let's get back to the subject of Fergie. Do you want to know what he told me, or
yes,
don't you?
Yes, of course. We've been waiting.
Yes.
Fergie called me just before we came up here, and he's got some problems.
What? What did he say?
Well, I couldn't make out everything, but I did understand him to say that he was blind and had just been robbed.
Did you say robbed while he's in this hospital? And blind? That's terrible. My poor brother. He'll never see daylight again.
Well, meanwhile, Dorothy and Susan have a plan of their own to get Fergie to donate some of his money to the BTV Foundation. And they're on their way to the hospital now and are visiting in the car before going inside.
Now remember, when we get there, be very quiet, Susan. We don't want anyone to know we are visiting this late.
I know. We have gone over this plan so often, I have it memorized. We sneak into the hospital through the ER doors, make our way up the second floor waiting room, and peer down the hall until the nurses are in other rooms. And then we make our move into Fergie's room.
Yes. Now remember what we do when we're in there.
Oh, well, maybe you should tell me one more time.
We sit very quietly beside his bed and whisper things like, I need to write a check for $10,000 to the foundation. I should make this donation a recurring donation that automatically deducts from my bank account each month.
Well, tell me, why are we whispering and not just talking in our normal voices to him?
We don't want to wake him up. Research has proven that even when someone is sleeping, their subconscious mind can understand and respond to whispering suggestions. The following day, when he awakes, the first thing he will think of is writing a check, and voila! Just like magic, we have our donation secured.
Well, here's the waiting room. Let's sneak in and have a seat.
Well, what have we got here? Why are you two sneaking around the hospital at this hour? And why are you whispering?
You look like the shady characters Fergie described. He said you were seeking foundation money.
That's exactly who they are. It's shady characters. So, just exactly what are you doing here this late at night? Susan, I know you are in bed by 8 o'clock every night.
Yeah, visiting hours stopped at 8 o'clock. What are you doing here?
Well, we were stuck in the elevator for the longest time.
The elevator? The elevator. We were stuck in the elevator.
That still doesn't answer the question. What are you doing here?
Well, you see, we went to talk to Fergie.
Oh my goodness, at this hour? Is this the Fergie family?
Well, yes, we are all his family. Is something wrong?
No.
We have been here since 6 p.m. waiting for him.
No, Fergie is just fine. We have just had a little trouble getting him really comfortable, but he is fine. No worries.
Well, can we go see him now?
We want to see him too.
I think you two need to wait your turn. We have been waiting longer.
I agree. First come, first served is the best option here.
But we wanted to
no,
see
no,
Fergie.
we need to go
We want to see him.
We need to go in first.
What in the world is going on around here? I've got patients trying to sleep in here. Now, y'all are carrying on like somebody died and you're fighting over a will or something.
I think since I'm the most dignified person in this situation, I can explain things. We all want to see our family member Fergie. There are 5 here.
Okay, so let me see. You all want to see Mr. Fergie, right?
Yes, that's correct. Is it possible?
Well, I can make anything happen around here.
The best news I've heard all night.
There's just one tiny detail.
And what tiny detail would that be?
Yes, please explain. What tiny detail could there possibly be?
I see 6 people in this waiting room.
Well, that person was here when we arrived. We think she's homeless and just needed a place to rest.
Can I help you with something?
Well, excuse me. Let me see if I can help. I've worked with less fortunate people and have a sure way to get almost anyone to talk to me. Hi there. Is there something I can do to help you? Wait! Just a minute! You look like, oh my goodness, Gene, what are you doing here?
Well, I just wanted to talk to Fergie about using some of that money he inherited to fix the sidewalks at Butterfield Trail. You know how I love walking.
I don't know exactly what's going on around here, but let me be perfectly clear. You all seem a little suspicious to me. So we have rules in this hospital, and I decide who, when, what, and how things get done. I'm in charge of this entire floor.
My apologies for the entire situation. We're just concerned about Fergie's declining condition.
Well, our visiting hours are from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. typically.
And what does that mean? Typically.
It means I can bend the rules whenever I deem it possible, deem it necessary or possible for a profit for the hospital.
You mean you decide fees for profit?
Well, now I do like you. I think you are the smartest one of this bunch. Yes, I sure do. I set every fee for my floor. After hours, visitors are charged $100 a head. And that charge is conveniently added to Mr. Fergie's bill that he will receive.
Oh,
Well, that
that's
sounds
good.
good
That's
to
all
me.
right.
We won't have to pay anything.
We don't have to pay.
That's good. All right.
Well, the dilemma of the bill Fergie received for his 2-night stay in the hospital was finally resolved. His bill was higher than normal because each time he pressed the nurse's button, he wanted his pillows fluffed. Each time he wanted a drink, the meter on the park taxi just ran faster. And then the extra cost of all the late night visitors was an additional cost too. Patricia scored high, though, with points again with the resident by solving yet another resident problem. On the other hand, Fergie was disappointed when he had to add another $90,000 to pay the hospital bill. The relatives who were eager for a piece of the inheritance went through with the fundraising idea, and Ricky made magical cookies appear out of thin air once again, and you can enjoy them in the lobby with us after we take our bows. Oh, please note, someone who wishes to remain anonymous made a very hefty donation to the cause and told us to give the cookies away at no cost. Please enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending our play tonight. I want to recognize Michael Burks for all of his hard work writing and directing this play, with Martha's guidance, of course. Michael, get up here, get up here. The cast would like to present you with this card, and they've all made a donation to the foundation in your honor.
Hey, it's all about the foundation. All right, please join us for Cookies and Punch. I want to say thank you to the cast. They are absolutely wonderful to work with. They have pushed themselves beyond the limit, and they've done a wonderful job. Thank you to leadership staff that stayed after hours to do this play with us. We have enjoyed working with you all. It's been wonderful. And thank you, Martha. When I first brought up this idea to her, she was so enthusiastic about it, and she just said, "Oh, Michael, I love it. Just do it. You've got to do it." She was my encouraging force all the way through this, so I appreciate her so much. Thank you, Martha. Thank you for attending. Please join us for Cookies and Punch in the lobby.